All right, hurry up. Let's get to the show. We're late. People are not going to show up if you're late. You got to do this thing on time. You got to let people know every day at 8:45 a.m. they tune in and they get the best that they possibly can of the Erskin Music Show. Sorry I'm a little bit late today, but I got a lot of notes today. Today we got a lot of notes up in this bad boy because we're going to be talking about Justin Jones for president. No, not really. But Justin Jones, if you're watching this or any of your people are watching this, I'm pretty sure they might be here in Nashville. I'm coming to take your seat, homeboy. Oh my goodness. Tennessee becomes national news and national attention when two of their state legislators, senators, representatives get expelled by the Senate for shenanigans that they were pulling out on the House floor. Oh, there's a lot of passion in the state of Tennessee. Let me localize it. There's a lot of passion in the city of Nashville, where the home studios are for the Erskin Music Show. A lot of passion related to the tragic. My heart goes out to the Covenant families there and all those who have been affected by the recent violence in Nashville. But there's a lot of passion for those who are here in the city of Nashville related to taking away the GUNS and restrictions and various things that are related to that. Why do these type of things happen? Even just yesterday in Louisville, timestamp for this, these kind of things continue to happen, and there are people who they demand answers. Justin Pearson, Memphis. Justin Jones from Nashville. And we're going to talk about this situation that has taken place here with their expulsion, subsequent for Justin Jones, at least at this point, reinstatement back to House seat 52. And we need to talk about it because my mama used to always say, actually it was my grandma used to always say, now you know, two wrongs don't make a right. And that has to definitely apply to this. You know, there's just some of that grandma wisdom that you got to use from time to time. If you're watching the Erskin Music Show, we're going to be using some grandma wisdom today because y'all know two wrongs don't make a right. It's the Erskin Music Show. Well, I'd have to say I'm in a little better health than I have been in the last couple of days, at least voice-wise. The pollen, I don't know if it's gone down here, or allergies or anything. Things a little bit better here. But I'm sounding a little bit better on the mic today. So let me tell you my Jesus. So and Wilson, if you want to come on the show as well, and we can talk about Jesus, you can do that too. I really like that song. It's not often that I like songs that are in the Christian contemporary mill, but today is a day where not only we like songs, not only are we going to play some Erskin music today, but we're going to get to this subject of what's going on here in Tennessee. And I can already tell, I just knew it when I woke up. Something was special about this day. Something was unique about this day and the opportunity that we have. I've been thinking about Justin Jones and this whole scenario for about a week now after somebody contacted me and said, hey, do you paying attention to what's going on? I was actually out of town. I was in Illinois. I was on tour last week. They said, are you paying attention to what's going on in Tennessee? And I'm like, actually, I'm not. I talked to my wife and I'm paying attention to what's going on in my house. I'm not paying attention to what's going on at the Capitol. I live 13 minutes away from the Capitol. I'm pointing to it right now. If you could see where my finger followed my finger, you would be at the Capitol. You'd be over there with the protesters, holding up signs, screaming for Justin Jones, listening to people chant things, no Justin, no justice, and things of that nature. And it is just absolutely insane here in Nashville these days. Well, not on my street. We kind of keep we kind of keep a little calm over here. We kind of just keep the babies under control over here. But we want to get to this today. Your comments are most welcome today. If you're part of the Justin Jones clan that's out there, certainly you guys are welcome to join the show. I curate the comments there. So if you get out of pocket, I'm going to have to give you this. Warning. And then I'm kicking you off the show. But no, you guys are welcome. The state capitol might be a little bit of a democracy over there, but this is not over here. Warning. All right, because I'm gonna talk about this, and much like I do on many of the episodes of the Erskin Music Show, if you're a Democrat, you won't like what it is that I have to say. If you're a Republican, you won't like what I have to say. If you're a Libertarian, I don't even consider you to be Americans. All right, so here we go. We're going to get into this, but first of all, before we do all of that, we need to do a devotion because I feel like we need to ask the Lord to help us when we do these shows and not just assume that, like some of you have said, can this show really be real? Are you talented? Like this, you come out like a stunt. Are they four of you that come in? Because each segment is so precise. Each segment is so professional. How do you do what you do? And I understand there's people who are out there that believe it's incredible this show could be this good. But much like Rush Limbaugh used to say, and I'm not advocating go back and see all of Rush Limbaugh, but what he used to say, he was excellent at what he did, by the way. This is talent that's on loan from God. God is the reason why this show is so good. God is the reason why every segment just marches along. I mess it up every once in a while, but that's okay. So yes, need to let you guys know that we do have dolphins that are here represented. This is not just some fly by night show. All right, so they're present here today, and I'm pretty sure before the show is all over, we're gonna have party lights. I mean, that's just how we roll. So two wrong, make a right. We're gonna get to it today, but let's first of all get into the word today. Have some time of prayer. I'll get your tags on, get your Erskin music going. Let's go. 40 to 45 minutes every day. That's all I ask of you. That's a small commitment. When you think about other things that you could be doing 40 45 minutes to enrich your life, this probably should rank at the top of that. So here we go. The Erskin Music Show today. Let's ask the Lord to help us today. We'll get into the text of scripture. We'll be in Matthew chapter 5 here in just a few moments, but let's pray. Father God, we thank you so much for today. We thank you, Lord, for your grace, your kindness, your goodness, your mercy. And we ask, Lord, you would guide us as we look at this topic, listen to it, and try to make sense of what's going on in our world for your glory and for your kingdom. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. So we're in Matthew chapter 5 today. Get your brown floppy Bible or get a black floppy Bible or just get a Bible. Doggone it. Even a Gideon's Bible would be okay for this one. We're in the New Testament. Thanks, Gideon's. All right. You are the salt of the earth. You are the salt of the earth. But what good is it? Excuse me. I'm back to teenage years. But what good is the salt if it has lost its flavor? Can you make it salty again? It will be thrown out and trampled underfoot as worthless. You are the light of the world, like a city on a hilltop that cannot be hidden. No one lights a lamp and then puts it under a basket. Instead, it is placed on a stand where it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your good deeds shine for all to see so that everyone will praise your heavenly Father. This is Matthew chapter 5, verses 13 through 16. This is Chuck Swindoll. Charles Swindoll, Chuck Swindoll coming up in this bad boy today. I'm bringing out heavy hitters here. I'm bringing Dolphins. I'm bringing Chuck Swindoll. I'm bringing the gospel song. All the things today so that we can bring to bear what the word of God is saying. And I'm going to read Chuck Swindoll's devotion, but I'm also going to freestyle on it because y'all know what I do on this show. This show goes 40 minutes, not because I have 40 minutes worth of things to say, but because I can't. Actually, I have about an hour and a half worth of things to say, but it only goes 40 minutes because I have to try to control myself. And my present plan on StreamYard only allows me up to 50 hours of storage. So I've mostly exceeded that by now. All right. First world problems. Since God, and this is Charles Swindoll, since God has called us to be salt and light, to be servants in a bland and dark society, it will be necessary for us to commit ourselves to the task before us. Remember, salt must not lose its taste, and light must not be hidden. In order to keep us on target, let me suggest three statements. This is Chuck Swindoll making three statements that declare and describe how to fulfill this role. I am responsible. And I skipped past the first one. This is actually the second one. I am responsible because I'm doing two of these. I am responsible is the first one. I am responsible. I am responsible. Can we just their audience? Let's go. Let's rehearse this together. Comment section is on, and I know you guys are watching today because I'm watching the little eyeballs watching me. I am responsible. Let's rehearse this today. I am responsible. Okay. All right. It starts there. Swindoll said it. So it must be right. If I read Jesus' words, he goes on to say correctly, I see more than being salt and light. I am responsible for my salt not losing its bite and my light not becoming obscure or hidden. Every once in a while, it is helpful to ask some very hard questions of myself. I always love that when we turn the corner on personal responsibility. Oh man, I do not like that sound. You get off of there, sound. True servants do more than talk. We refuse to become the rabbit hole Christians Stott speaks of, popping out of our holes and racing from our insulated caves to all Christian gatherings, only to rush back again. For salt to be tasted and for light to be seen, make contact. We are personally responsible. That's a baller take this morning. Thanks, Chuck Swindoll, for telling us that as Christians, we can't just run into our little huddles, run back home, turn on Fox News, and then everything is going to be all right. We're going to have to roll up our sleeves at some point. Somebody's going to have to get dirty. Somebody's going to have to be out there in the world. And I know America's got a lot of money, and we can pay people to go out and do stuff because people love it when they hear stories of people who go out into the world. They love it when I tell stories about places that I've been and conversations that I've had with people. Love that kind of thing. And I guess to a certain extent, because that's how I make a living, going out and doing fire shows and then speaking on these fire topics. And then one of these days when I have a TED talk, I'm going to show everybody in the world how fire the presentation is when I talk about Jesus. Nonetheless, I digress. But people like it when other people go out and do the work and come and tell them the stories of it. But people don't often like it when they're called. I'm going to point up because pointing the finger at you is rude. I'm just point up. They don't like it when they're called to dock into the dock to say, well, what the heck are you doing about your responsibility to make a difference? Where are you making contact in the world? Chuck Swindoll wouldn't have said it like that because he's a nice guy. He's nice. He's kind of like America's grandfather. Like every time I hear his voice, I'm like, oh, it's story time with Chuck. But no, he's right here. Influence in people's lives requires you to have contact with them. The reason why I punk the industry and the music industry so much on this show is because the illusion, and don't get fooled by this, the illusion that you can be on big stages and make this profound influence in people's lives is illusory. You can make an influence in people's lives. You can create memories in people's lives. You can make indelible marks in people's lives, crowd mentality, memories, all those different things. And they're so vitally important. I do those things. I'll be at Resound Fest this summer, unless they kick me out of Resound Fest. I'm going to be at some other festivals in the future. So I get on big stages and do those type of things. But if you think that that is how you influence people's lives, if you think that the specialist is how you influence people's lives, I'm going to tell you what influences people's lives. John Maxwell said this the best, and I'm often saying this and repeating this on this show. You can impress people from afar. You put me on a big stage, you give me some lights, you're going to be pretty impressed about what it is that you see. But you impact people by being close. That's why I do a lot of small gatherings. That's why I like to get all up in people's face. I like to go to lunch with people. I just be in your face talking to you about stuff because that's how you make an impact. Specialists, they don't make impacts in people's lives. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for trying. But what makes an impact in people's lives is a mother and a father who understand that they're a mother and a father and not one of the silly little kids along with the rest of the kids, who are demonstrating leadership in their lives, who are demonstrating integrity in their lives, demonstrating hard work and ethics and all of those different things that are caught, not taught, but they're taught as they're caught. I digress. Actually, I didn't digress. I actually improved the quality of the show by going on that little rant there, but that's okay. We'll do it like this. We got to speed along because I got a lot to say. I got a lot to read. Chuck Swindoll also goes on in his devotion and says, I am influential. So first of all, we got to make some contact. Second of all, we got to be understand that we are an influencer. You look at social media, and at least there's one eyeball that's watching this right now. There's a lot of people who are going to watch this in delay today. That's how y'all do this show. I've got probably silent army in America. When I run for president, people are going to be shocked. I'll either win the first time when I run for president, or I'll get so close to winning that it'll be like, where did he come from? And then I'll be on the radar, and then I'll win the next time when I run for president. But people don't realize this. There's people from all over the world that watch this show. And so at any given time when I'm live streaming, it might be dark in another part of the world. And so they're not watching it, but they come back and watch it later. And you know how I know this is because they don't get on the silly little metrics that the algorithms use. get in contact with me and tell me, hey, we've been watching this from Africa. We've been watching this from India. We've been watching this from other countries that I'm not going to say because I don't want to get anybody in trouble that's out there. But there's people who literally watch this show from all over the world. And I say all that to say that I consider myself to be an influencer of sorts. That's why I'm taking over this platform the way that I am. You can see that clearly. I got a shadow. You're not gonna influence anybody with shadows like that in your face. But at any rate, as an influencer or someone who likes to hide behind the shadows here, as an influencer, I recognize that this is a platform that provides me the opportunity to speak directly to you. I'm a lot of camera in your face today. I'm not that aggressive. I'm just speaking heart to heart. But you are all influencers are out there. If you're watching this, you're an influencer. If you're not watching this, it doesn't make any difference whether you ever get on social media, use your phone or not. You are influencing somebody either for good or for evil. We can't give away what we don't have. We always give away what we do have. You're an influencer. Back to Swindoll. Let's not kid ourselves. The very fact that we belong to Christ, that we don't adopt the system, that we march to a different drumbeat gives us as an influence in the society of ours. Maybe the quaint old keeper of the spring was not seen very much, but his role meant survival to the village in the Alps. You done gone all over the world now, Swindoll. We are influencing others even when we aren't trying to act religious or preach from a soapbox. Even those things that you're doing that nobody sees, that nobody knows, the Lord knows. And if you're doing those things unto the Lord, not only are you doing those things unto the Lord and he knows those things, but you may be doing those things for some type of practical and utilitarian purpose that is influencing people's lives. Man, I never really even thought about it like that. Comment section is on today. My mind is profoundly. I never really even thought about it that way. I usually think about influence because who I am, rather extroverted. I think about influence. I'm up in your face. But even stuff that I'm doing that people don't see is making a difference in people's lives. Now, when it comes to the gospel, we're going to have to use some words. We're going to have to actually share the message of hope with people. But nonetheless, that's good thought. That is a tremendous thought. Guys, do you have anything else that you want to say about the devotion? I'm about to speed on for the show. We're already 17 minutes in. We got a lot to do on today's show because I do want to cap it around 40, 45 minutes, but I've got a lot to read here. Anybody? Sound like an auctioneer up on this bad boy. Anything? Then that's going to look really good because I'm watching the delay on I'm going to go back and watch this on YouTube and see the delay. They'd be like, man, that dude was speaking in tongues, man. No, he wasn't speaking in tongues. He's just an auctioneer. And you guys know that I have the Erskin Music podcast. Usually when the video doesn't work well, the audio always works well on these. And so if you're in some way like, don't watch this because the words and things don't match up, it's okay because the podcast is generally pretty clear and I air that on Fridays. So this will probably be the episode that'll go up for the podcast. All right, check this out. Gospel choir, what do you guys think about that devotion? All right, get the tags out of the way. Today, we got the Copyright Act of 1976 coming at your face. Allows me fair use to be able to use some of this. You've only got one ad that you've got to endure today, so I'll be doing some criticism, comment, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research as a result of that. For those of you who are watching on various platforms today, thank you so much for that. That makes this show so successful, and it gives me a lot of passion and energy, and I would have had that anyway, but more so when you guys come on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and all of the various platforms that we can be seen on. If you've not already subscribed to the channel, I don't pay attention to those numbers. When I watch Ruslan's show, he's always doing this thing where, 51% of you watch the show but haven't subscribed, or 67% of you watch the show and haven't subscribed. I don't know how you know that. I guess he does spend a little bit more time paying attention to numbers than I do. I don't pay attention to numbers because I know there's a lot of people who watch this show. Because when I go places, I hear you guys talk about the shows that I'm doing, which even if you don't make a comment, when it comes time for me to run for president of the United States, make sure you vote for me. Kind of like y'all did Donald Trump. Y'all came out of nowhere. People didn't even know that he had that many votes. And I'm pretty much the here's what you need to do. Subscribe to the channel if you want to get every episode and every comment and every thought that I have and know every single thing. CIA is probably listening to this right now because they know that I'm going to run for president of the United States and win. And so there are people that are out there who are watching the show. Russia's watching the show because they know at some point I'm going to be the president of the United States. China watching the show because they know at some point he's going to be the president of the United States. So we better pay attention to what he's saying. The LGBTQRS LMNP is watching the show. The trans audience is watching the show because they know I'm going to be the president of the United States. So people are watching this show. So from various audiences, whoever you are, if you want to watch the show, subscribe to the channel. All right. There can only be one song. There can only be one song when it comes to what it is that we need to do. When it comes to personal responsibility. And since I lost it in my pitch deck, I have no idea what that song is. No, we got to do what you got to do. Come on, people. Oh, yeah. Erskin music.
What you gonna do? What you gonna say? Is it time to run or is it time to stay? Is there anyone or anything that would take all you got to get everything? Your heart's pumping, no stopping, like a tidal wave that keeps coming. You're running and running for something, yeah, yeah. You're gonna make it some way, somehow. No one's gonna keep you down when you know what you're supposed to do. Then go do what you gotta do. Some way, somehow. I know you can turn it around when you know what you're supposed to do. Then go do what you gotta do. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Do what you gotta do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do what you gotta do. Tell everyone, everywhere, go hard or go back from where you came. It's a big deal. This is so real. Can't stop it now. It's such a great thrill. Your heart's pumping, no stopping, like a tidal wave that keeps coming. You're running and running for something, yeah, yeah. You're gonna make it some way, somehow. No one's gonna keep you down when you know what you're supposed to do. Then go do what you gotta do. Some way, somehow. I know you can turn it around when you know what you're supposed to do. Then go do what you gotta do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can see the other side. Don't give up and don't stop trying. No matter what's in front or what's behind, you're gonna make it some way, somehow. No one's gonna keep you down when you know what you're supposed to do. Then go do what you gotta do. Some way, somehow. I know you can turn it around when you know what you're supposed to do. Then go do what you gotta do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do what you gotta do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go do what you gotta do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do what you gotta do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go do what you gotta do.
All right, let's get to this top story for today. We are talking about Justin Jones being reinstated in the city of Nashville as representative of seat or District 52. Oh man, how did we get here? How did we get here? Why are we talking about politics like this? Because, friends, this is a cross section of our society and some of the things that are going on in this world. Let me get this thing over here. I got this fancy thing now where I can do stuff and make it go all over the screen. But if we do that, oh, there we go. All right, so here's what we need to do here. I got some clips that I need to show you guys. First clip, and I think there's okay. First clip is just going to kind of get you guys back into the mode of understanding what this story, kind of where it comes from. And the reason why I'm following the story is one, because it's local, and then two, because it's national, and then three, because stories like this give us a window into our souls. You're going to respond to this, and you're going to respond to this from a context, from a background, from some place in your soul that is going to say, we either agree with this, we disagree with this, we're uncomfortable with this, we see this, we acknowledge this, we're very much in favor of this. But there's going to be reaction that we have here. And I want to make sure that you guys know that this is rooted in history. So local history, present history that is taking place here just a couple of days ago here in Nashville. So let's get to clip number one.
I would like to nominate Representative Justin Jones.
Tonight, a political
Justin
showdown
Jones
in Nashville,
Ayes 36, no.
with former Tennessee lawmaker Justin Jones back to the State House just days after his expulsion. The Metro Nashville Council voted unanimously in favor of his reappointment.
This is a message that partisanship has gone so far as to be a force in violating basic principles of democracy.
This special meeting comes after a rare move by House Republicans to remove 3 Democratic lawmakers after they joined a gun control rally on the House floor.
There they go. Actually, March 30th, there, a rally that is taking place on the House floor here at the Capitol, 13 minutes away from where I presently sit, right over there. People in the gallery who were chanting, they obviously, you can look at them there, have bullhorns, they have signs that were there. And one of them is just standing there in solidarity. And I think that is an important point to note here, that the one holding up sign, one with a bullhorn, exciting the people, rocking the people like Darius Rucker, like a wagon wheel up in this bad boy. And so they were definitely out of order. Like, can I just go ahead and come out and say, 2 wrongs don't make a right? Like Mama used to say, 2 wrongs don't make a right. So they were definitely wrong. They were out of order. They were out of pocket. You're going to hear this word called decorum. If you never heard that word, it's good. It's a good word. It talks about the decency, the respectability, and the process, due process of how things are done and how things are addressed. And before we had in 2016 this word that comes from political correctness in 2016 called the optics. Before we had things that said, well, what do the optics of that look like? I mean, what if you're just passing by and glancing at a situation, do the optics look like? And we would respond a lot to the optics. The optics are, and we'll get into this a little bit later because we'll have to parse this, I think. The optics are, there's some energetic young black men who are down there with bullhorns and signs who are whipping up a crowd. That doesn't look good. And there is a white woman who is also there, involved in the frenzying activity that's going on to some degree and to some capacity, although not as animated. Now that's going to come up as a part of the discussion. That's why I bring it up now. So the optics of this look a certain way. And I pause this here to just let you guys know that this is not something that was made up, that they were actually there, that they were actually out of order, that they were actually disturbing and interrupting the decorum and procedure of the events in the Senate, state capitol. All right, so look at the optics.
Which Republicans say violated the rules.
You can call it peaceful, you can call it whatever, but they had a protest against House policy on the floor.
Okay, let me run that back. Run it back. So our boy up in there, that's Cameron Sexton, who is the Tennessee State Speaker of the House. He's a Republican, and he's the one that I think adjudicates over these matters, at least brings things into order and brings things into session. and kind of moves the discussion along there. You're going to see Jerry, I think it's Jerry Faison, who is going to be speaking here in just a few moments. I got some sound bites from him. And a lot of cool stuff there. So there's Cameron Sexton, in which they've also called for him to resign. But we'll get to that another day.
We'll see on the floor.
The Tennessee three, only one survived the vote, Gloria Johnson.
It might have to do with the color of our skin.
Oh, man, shots fired. Erskin Music Team. Hey, guys, let's go back and let's get that soundbite because I need that soundbite to be a part of the show. You hear what she just said? I've been running this through all morning. Here we go.
Three, only one survived the vote, Gloria Johnson.
It might have to do with the color of our skin.
I just need that as a soundbite. Can somebody get that for me as a soundbite? It might have to do with, what does it have to do with?
It might have to do with the color of our skin.
Gloria Johnson.
It might have to do with the color of our skin.
GOP.
Come on, America. Can we stop this? Can we stop this media? Come, listen. I'm dying over here. Literally, y'all are killing me, America. Every time the optics of a situation can be decided by looking at the color of someone's skin, that automatically becomes the issue that is out there. When do we actually get to the fact that you, Gloria, and you, Justin, and you, Justin, were out of order in what it is that you did? Can the story be about that? That should have been the story, but no, there's more to the story. Because we want to come in, and I say we, not Erskin, not Erskin's followers on social media. We don't do this. But we as a society want to come in and we want to say, it's black and white. I mean, it's obvious why this happened. Because the black boys were down there and they were doing stuff. And there were some hood brothers that were up in that thing as well. Because I saw them walking into the Capitol, walking into the chamber, and the police were like, nah, you can't come up in this thing. You're going to have to go up in the gallery. But the brothers were trying to get up in that thing. And that was making some people very unsettled. They were very nervous about that. And so when these three representatives who had access into the chamber actually went in, that's when they took the bullhorn, kind of took over. Everything got a little bit spicy there for just a second. But can we not always default to the black and white? But here's what I need you to do, America. Help me out. Comment section is fully on today. I need you to help me out. I need you to stop with things that make it easier for people who are looking for a racial overtone to make their argument. If it had just been about procedure, if it had just been about the things that were going on there, which I believe that initially it was, nobody would have anything to say. Or they probably would still say something, but they would be verified. No, this is not because of this. It's not because of, and we're going to hear some sound bites that are related to that. But there are certain things, because the punishment did not fit the crime, that make it easier for people to say, look how racist y'all are in Tennessee. And it's unfortunate. We're in 2023. You guys know how I roll in Erskin Music. I'm kicking butt everywhere that I go. That's how we do on Erskin Music. So I don't care if I'm in Tennessee. I don't care if I'm in Mississippi. I don't care if I'm in Alabama. I don't care if I'm in Georgia. I do not care where I'm at. I am coming to kick butt. And so I've never felt like there was a limitation on anything. Maybe there has been a limitation. Maybe people have not invited me some places, or maybe they have not allowed me the time that I needed at places. I don't know. I honestly, 2023, I'm here telling you, I do not know of overt situations of racism that have affected me in my career. You see where I'm at these days. You see how I'm balling out in this world. But I have had people who have come to me and said, man, I live in Tennessee. Brothers who have come to me and I couldn't. Not everybody's as articulate. Not everybody's as extroverted as you. Not everybody can overlook some overt racist things that are being done around them or said around them to continue to move forward. That people's psyche, and I completely understand that. But we're in 2023. My message to my black, brown, and other minorities and other folks that are out there is you just go and do the best that you possibly can. God gave you not just the talent, but he also is going to provide the way for you to be able to move forward. So let's just go ahead and move forward. Let's go ahead and take it. Got to listen. I ain't telling you twice. Like we're coming for this thing. And that's my attitude. But I do have to acknowledge the fact that there are people who are out there who are saying, I could never live in Tennessee. I would never do what it is that you do and go some of the places that you go because of fear. I have been at bars when I first started here and I moved to Nashville. I was at bars 2, 3 o'clock in the morning waiting to play open mics, chopping it up with the people, doing different things. And that's how my ministry launched, bro. We didn't start with a silver spoon in our mouth. We didn't start by a record label calling me and saying, hey, you need to come up here and do music. I started cutting some of these songs, some of these fire songs that you guys are hearing now. Man, I was cutting those songs 7, 8 years ago in bars, in open mics, night. There's people I wouldn't hang out in some of the places that you were hanging out at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, not in Tennessee, not in Nashville. And I'm trying to tell them, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. No, Nashville is not racist. No, we're good here in Nashville. We're good in Tennessee. But then things like this happen. And people say, Erskin, what the heck are you talking about? Look at how they're treating black people in Tennessee. Look at how they're treating black people in Nashville. Now, we want to move there. And sometimes it's just a fear factor that folks got to get over. But at other times, when there's things that so blatantly look bad. Talk about decorum. This looks bad. I got to say, dang, help me out, Tennessee. I'm trying to get people to come here and let people know how awesome this place is. And y'all are working against me. 13 minutes away. Can you guys get your act together, Republicans?
Leaders say their decision was not based on race, but that Johnson didn't go as far as her 2 freshman colleagues.
If you're not supposed to be down there, if you're not supposed to be interrupting the session, if you're not supposed to be involved in this flow of chanters that are out there and inciting the crowd, if you were there doing that, you should be punished like everybody else. And again, you guys know I do not want to throw up the flag of racism. I do not even want to talk about racism in 2023. I want to move beyond some of these discussions so that you guys know why I'm busting tail is because of the merit and the content of my character and the content of my music and the content of the things that I provide. That's why I'm busting tail. It has nothing to do with black and no affirmative action, none of those kind of things. Mano y mano, I faced you up and I beat you. That's why I'm moving forward. I want that to be the narrative of why it is that I'm moving forward. Not because Erskin's getting any special privileges, not because people just need to hear from black voices. None of those things is the reason why I'm moving forward, because I'm busting people's tails. That's why I'm moving forward. But when you guys do things like we're going to expel the 2 black people that are there, the optics, and then the white woman, we're not going to mess with her. She's from Knoxville, East Tennessee. It's quieter there. I don't, whatever the things are, but this absolutely looks stupid. Can I just say that word? Come on. It looks stupid. It looks, believe it was racist, but it looks racist, and it gives me difficulty to try to argue that Tennessee is not racist, as racist as people think. I don't think that are out there. Come on now. I travel around in some of the backwoods in Tennessee. There's still some racists that are out there, and I see your Confederate flags, and I'll raise you one. Look, help me out. Help me out.
Representative Justin Pearson will learn his fate Wednesday in his own district with a special meeting in Memphis. Meanwhile, the political battle doesn't end for Jones as he awaits a special election, and he's vowing to return.
Okay, he awaits a special election, and he's vowing to return. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Hang the heck on. You guys want to make any comments at this point? Because the comment section is turned on. Okay, good, because I have some more sound bites. And we're at 39 minutes. Come on, we got to speed this thing up. Speed up. Okay, here's Faison. Oh, Justin Jones. Before we get to Faison. Justin Shea Batista Jones. If you're out there, Justin Shea, Young Shea, Sugar Shea Batista Jones. I'm trying to figure out who, because some people keep asking me is he? Like, what is he mixed with? I'm like, no, he's not. Sorry. He was born in 1995. He's an American activist, political from the state of Tennessee. He's a member of the Tennessee House of Representatives, District 52, representing parts of Nashville. That's all a matter of record. He served from January 2023 until April 6th when he was expelled for participating in gun in the state capitol. That's what we're following today. Republicans said that his behavior was disorderly. On April 10th, 2023, the Nashville Council reinstated him to serve as interim representing pending a special election to fill the seat. His early life and education. You guys want to know anything about Mr. Batista? Sugar Shay? Early life and education. He was born in 1995 in Oakland, California, from a Filipina mother. So he's black and Filipino. An African-American father. His mother, Christine, raised Justin and his sister while putting herself through nursing school. He is a grandson of a black working-class grandparents from the south side of Chicago, Filipino immigrants. Migrated to California. He earned a bachelor's degree from Fisk University here in Nashville and also enrolled at Vanderbilt Divinity School. I guess he completed that degree. I don't know why anybody would want to complete that degree. Shots fired at Vanderbilt. I shot those, and I'm not taking that back. He also campaigned for the removal of Nathan Bedford Forrest, which from the Tennessee state capitol. That's gone. Thank you, sir. In 2019. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Justin Jones. No. Hang the heck on just a second. Jones announced his candidacy for the state's House of Representatives 5th Conditional District against Jim Cooper in 2020 elections, and he did not submit enough valid signatures to make the ballot. Jones was arrested for refusing to leave a rally held by Marsha Blackburn in 2018. He was charged in 2019 with assaulting Glenn Casada, a member of the Tennessee House of Representatives, by allegedly throwing a drink at him. He was also banned from the Capitol. Casada later agreed to drop the charges. This is I'm not making this up. In 2020, Jones organized a 62-day sit-in to protest racial justice outside the state capitol after the murder of George Floyd. He was arrested and faced 14 charges, which were dropped. All right, so that's what you got here with your boy Justin Jones. So before you guys start rallying around him, no Justin, no justice kind of stuff, please know we'd like for our leaders to actually be people that we can follow. I'll say more.
From Tennessee, Jeremy Faison. He is the Tennessee Republican Caucus Chair, joining us now.
Jeremy,
thanks for joining us. Can you just kind of explain to us why you believe these two members have just been expelled?
Thank you. That's a great question.
And there's a lot that's going on here. I'm a communications major, so I just want to unpack a couple of things there. Jeremy, and I'll read his bio. Jerry is an American member of the House of Tennessee Representatives for the 11th District, and he's chairman of the House Republican Caucus. That's why he's speaking here. After being elected to the majority body in the chairman position, Faison is one of the highest-ranking members of the House leadership in the legislative body. He represents all of Cook County and part of Greene County and Jefferson County. Faison was born on September 14th in Monroe, Georgia. He was homeschooled elementary through high school grade levels and issued a high school diploma at Victoria Christian Academy. Prior to his attending Clearwater, his family also homeschools, and I don't need to get into all of that. But Faison is married with 5 children. They reside in Cosby, Tennessee. He is a worship leader at Crossroads Community Church. He plays several musical instruments. Faison and his wife also own a pest and wildlife control business in Newport, Tennessee. So going out East Tennessee direction. Wait, Newport is west. Sorry, West Tennessee. Wait, no, it's East Tennessee. Man, I don't even know where I'm at anymore in Tennessee. He is a past president of Cook County Republican Party and a member of Cook County Chamber of Commerce. He defeated somebody named Ed Yoakley, but he is a representative for the 11th District. He's a member of the National Rifle Association and the Tennessee Hunters Association. He has been given a grade A by the National Rifle Association Political Victory Fund, a group supporting the Second Amendment rights of American political process. So he's not coming. He's not listening to you with the nonsense of let's take guns away. Let's banish. Let's come get the guns. Let's take them all away. Unconscionable that this kind of thing could happen in that part of town in Nashville. Rich, white, elite, very secure, or so we thought. And so people are responding out of the sheer shock of the mental health crisis that is obviously there, out of the sheer shock of the violence that is there. They're also responding out of the fact that this area of town, Green Hills, how could this possibly happen? Maybe on the other side of town, maybe on Erskin's side of town, these kind of things could happen. Maybe North Nashville sees these kind of things happen, but not here. Not those babies. We live in a fallen world. We need to understand that. And so he's not going to be on this thing. And he's very gracious. Let me tell you what's going on here. Very gracious in answering the questions. I want to come on and ingratiate myself to the audience. But listen to what it is that I'm pointing down at the bottom of the screen. You guys see it. I don't know if it's over here or I don't know if it's over there. But CNN is not coming so that they can present the case for the conservative agenda or the NRA or any of the things that they are vehemently against. But what's going on here? He's going to try to keep calm. The interviewer is going to try to mean mug him, and that's what her responsibility is here. But she's not very good at her job. If you watch other broadcasts, I don't know if she's a rookie or what the situation is, but her role in this, and I know this from communication classes, her role in this is to give a very blank, solid stare and a very skeptical look on her face. And she tries to do that, but she's not very good at acting. So watch what's going on here in this interview, and also listen to what it is.
First of all, I'd like to say it's a terribly sad time. This is a very grave situation that someone would be expelled. Before that, we've had some serious tragedies in Tennessee, and the 6 innocent lives that were lost
so those people in there protesting
are absolutely devastating. So I want to make sure that we mention that's one of the biggest things going on right now in Tennessee. You asked me specifically about why do I think they would be expelled. And I think that's a great question. America deserves to know. We have several hundred years, over 200 years of an incredible state house history that's rich. Tennessee is one of the most important states in all of America.
I actually kind of agree with him there. I think that Tennessee is a very important state. Now look on her face. This is kind of what she's supposed to do during this interview, to kind of cast doubt. She kind of looks down upon the things that he's saying, and he's kind of softening her up. Like, he knows her role, and he's kind of softening her up, talking about the rich history of Tennessee. He's talked about compassionately the grave situation that we find ourselves in.
We have had literally thousands of state reps since.
Look at the look on her face. Look at the look on her face. This is what her role is, but she's terrible at her job. And I don't know who you are, lady, but you're not very good at your job.
1796,
I'm about to show you
who have worked, and then after 1859 have worked in this very chamber that you're seeing me in today.
Okay, so he's just nuancing this thing. So what she's supposed to do in this situation, because she's a combatant, she's there as a combatant. What she's supposed to do, and she's supposed to break in the middle of this commentary and like, okay, I don't know you're all this stuff. But he started with compassionate, grave times, grave concern. She can't break in the middle of that. He can't be emoting and have this solemn tone that's related to children that have just been murdered and administrators that have just been murdered. And she can't jump in and be like, okay, so we don't hear about all this stuff. Talk to me about what is going on. So she's got to wait. And she's not very good at waiting because she doesn't have a very good poker face. So
they have all understood that there are rules and procedures.
He's just slow rolling her out on this thing.
That every voice is heard. There's almost 7 million Tennesseans.
She should have been in by now.
We have come up with these ideas that the best way for everybody to be heard is to make sure that we follow the rules of decorum.
Okay, decorum. Now she's supposed to jump in and she's supposed to go on attack mode.
These members have.
She didn't do it. She's failing at her job. She's not going to get this job because she was supposed to jump in right there and say decorum. Okay, that was my key word. I'm supposed to be in. I'm supposed to be a combatant at that point, but she sucks at her job. And so here she is. She just got to go to that smirky face again. And he knows to a certain extent.
I've come in this entire. Oh, go ahead.
He actually gave her the floor back. This man is kind enough to give her the floor back. He knows that she tried to get in. He knows that she's getting worked in this situation. He knows that he's dominated the conversation to this point. He's slow rolling her out. So he's just going to hand her the ball. What a gracious and kind thing to do, because he knows
Just
she's not very good at her job.
Interrupt to say, I understand.
Don't be stumbling around when you get the ball back.
Decorum. Van was just making the point there. Of course, not everyone could bring a bullhorn in every time they disagreed. Otherwise, it would be total chaos. But why take this step? Why was there no measure you could have taken before this, before expulsion? Why take the most extreme step so quickly?
So that's an excellent question. More than just what America has seen that took place last Thursday, there's a history all year long of disrupting committees and the House floor, getting off of the germane topic. When I say germane, that means what we're dealing with at that moment, just to make political grandstand.
Okay, so this needs to be understood. What this is a little bit what's going on. All y'all Justin for president, Justin Jones, no justice, no justice, no Justin, no justice. People that are out there, y'all need to understand what's going on with this bad boy. They've been disrupting things a lot around here. They're known as rabble rousers. And when your character, I can understand, in a certain situation, I could be known as a rabble rouser. You show up somewhere, do something. But for those who know me and who've known me over a period of time, that doesn't describe the character of who I am. I'm not that guy. I may have been that guy. I may have made a mistake. I may even be right in what it is that I'm not known as a rabble rouser. No, I'm a disruptive thinker for sure. But I'm not a rabble rouser. I'm not going to be out marching in the streets and trying to, baseball bats and all the different nonsense that's out there. That's not me. But apparently, reading back through what I read through in the biography of Justin Jones, there's a history of these guys, he and other folks coming and just getting people off topic, just being rabble rousers that are out there. And we don't ascribe character and leadership qualities to those who are rabble rousers. They may, and in fact, have some really good points that they're offering to people during these days. But they're not leaders, because leaders don't act like that. Leaders have some measure of self-control. When it comes down to it, when things need to actually get done, instead of diverting the issues, we need to actually get down to what the real issues are and how things can be done. I'm going to play just a few more moments of this because he's working her.
We've called them out. The chairman of committees, the Speaker of the House have been calling them out time and time again for grabbing the mic, sucking the air out of the room.
You've been getting called out time and time again for grabbing the mic, and I think this is documented.
Sure no other voices heard. And finally, when they come and act so foolish on the House floor, this is a sacred place that belongs to everybody, and literally start looking up into the gallery with a bullhorn, getting the protesters worked up into a frenzy. That is incumbent on us to say, you've gone a step too far, and we're going to take steps to make.
Now, outside of the chamber, there's some brothers and some sisters out there, and they're like, okay, y'all not going up in the chamber.
Make sure that
but let me
if you ever do come back, if you get reelected,
like
that you know it's a serious thing to Tennesseans that you come and disrupt the people's house.
So
I think it was very important for us to do that.
The speaker here likened what they did to what happened on January.
Her expression, his expression.
6 in Washington, D.C. Do you agree with that comparison?
That is a fantastic
I believe
answer.
them coming in and taking over the House. They called it occupying the well. The well is where we stand up front to pass. That is incredibly disruptive and embarrassing to the legislature, the institution that we have here. And
all right, here's the image that I wanted to stop the thing on, and I probably got to go today because I got stuff that I need to do. I can't be up in this thing all day educating you about what's going on here. The optics of this situation is a communication major. I'm watching all this, and there's a lot of flaws that are in this. There's a lot of mistakes, but just he's working her, but he's also giving some reasonable answers to what's going on here. Not reasonable enough to do what it is that they do. And so I got to play one more soundbite before I get out of here. But look who's protesting here. Look who's getting worked up in the gallery. Look who the combatants are. Look who the evil people are. Let's see. Can I get the cursor to go over here? Got grandma over here. We got homeschool kid right there. We got mixed ethnicity guy. I don't know who. Very not even paying attention person over here. We got people who are social media over here, people holding up signs, look like they're in middle school. Maybe they're in high school. I'm just kidding. High schools look a little bit different these days. We got, that's a lady. She was in the nursing home earlier that day, and then she came out. Who Who are these people who were so disruptive that they had to expel these two people? I got to click off of this one. Because we need to hear from Jeremy Ritchie. And let me present this one. We're 55 minutes today. Come on. Let's go. Because I don't want to go back and do 2 episodes on this. We're just going to go a little bit longer on this one. And here we go.
In Nashville, where she is meeting with state legislators and gun reform advocates amid the fallout from Tennessee state Republicans' decision to expel 2 elected Democrats, Justin J. Pearson and Justin Jones from the legislature. Jones and Pearson broke House decorum rules to participate in gun reform protests on the legislative floor.
Look. Oh, hang on. Hang the heck on.
Only the 3rd time that state lawmakers have been expelled from the Tennessee legislature since
there were
the
some
Civil
brothers
War.
sitting back on
With us now, Republican Tennessee state lawmaker Brian Ritchie. Representative Ritchie, thanks for joining us. So you were one of 7 Republicans who voted against expelling Democrat Gloria Johnson.
And I want you to hear one thing
one
that
of
he
just
says
3
here.
Republicans who voted against expelling Representative Justin Pearson, but you did vote to expel Representative Justin Jones. Can you explain your votes to us?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started sharing with leadership and everybody that I did not think that expulsion was the right thing.
I like this guy. I'm going to have to go meet him someday. I'm in East Tennessee a lot. I'm going to have to go see him and say, hey, brother, somebody who has a calm head, who has a resident demeanor that demands that, hey, can we just cool the voices that are in the room for just a second? He's talking to the other Republicans and telling them, hey, I understand they broke the rules of decorum. We understand what the House Section 2, Article 12 says with regards to decorum and our ability to do this. But I don't think that's what we need to do. So why did he vote for the expulsion?
These 3 individuals did was completely horrible. It was a disrespect to our General Assembly, those members that have served before me and that will serve in the future. According to Article 2, Section 12 of our Constitution, did it constitute them being expelled? Absolutely.
So let me read you Article 2, Section 12, just so that we're clear about what that is. Each House may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly behavior, and with the concurrence of 2/3 expel a member, but not a second time for the same offense, and shall have all other powers necessary for the branch of legislature free of a free state, excuse me. So let's look at that.
In my opinion, was it warranted? And I did not believe so. Representative Jones's office is right next door to mine.
No. Representative Jones' office is right next door to mine. Remember when you were in middle school and you had the lockers, little combination lockers? Literally, their combination lockers are right next to each other. So he's a very young, up-and-coming senator. Justin Jones, young, up-and-coming. I guess they put all the freshmen in one. The freshmen are in one hall. And so their lockers are right next to each other, and they talk with one another from time to time. And listen to what is said here. And this is a very big whole thing, and then I got to go because I can't be exposing the media to you guys all day long. I got things that I need to do to keep the Erskin music situation moving forward.
Multiple conversations with him this week, letting him know that I wasn't in favor. And essentially, he told me that he wanted to be kicked out because
he had multiple conversations with Justin Jones, in which Justin Jones said, I want to be kicked out and expelled. What? Why would you? Wait a minute. That seems extreme. Yes, I'm going to make it even more extreme. There's a reductio ad absurdum that's going on here. I'm going to make them look so foolish for expelling me. I want you to vote for my expulsion. Can we run the tape back? Run the tape back. Listen to what he said.
Multiple conversations with him this week, letting him know that I wasn't in favor. And essentially, he told me that he wanted to be kicked out because
Why?
His following was growing.
Following is growing. I'm getting very popular with all of this attention that's being given to me. I want you to kick me out.
Getting all this national exposure, and that the Metro City Council had already said that they're going to reappoint him.
It's a done deal, folks. It's a done deal. He knows with all the attention that's going on, if he gets kicked out of the Senate, he understands the fact that the Metro Council has already told him, we're going to just vote you back in. So you go in there, act a fool, do whatever the heck you want to do, And when you get kicked out, we're going to put you right back in there. So he's playing. I'm sorry to use a little analogy from gaming industry, but he's playing with house money. He already knows and wants to get kicked out. He's going to be up in there acting a fool. And like Mama used to always say, you can't take black folks nowhere. Y'all can't take black folks nowhere. Y'all going to go act a fool everywhere y'all go. That's what Mama used to say. He used to always laugh. But at any rate, this is no laughing matter. He wanted to get kicked out. He wanted to get expelled because he knew that was going to give him even greater national exposure. Now, when you see all the images of people who are chanting, no Justin, no justice, that is exactly what he wanted to have happen. And he listen, y'all done got played.
Back to the General Assembly. So I was honoring his wishes and voting for him, but I didn't think that any of them should end up getting kicked out.
He wanted to help you out. I mean, that was strange, but he wanted to help you out, Mr. Justin Jones. You want me to expel you? All right. So, okay. So yeah, that worked out really well. I wish we had time to do on this story, but we just don't have all the time that we need in the world. Quiet in the comment section, Dave, because I know that I've blown your mind. Here's the point, and here's the emphasis. 2 wrongs don't make a right. They were wrong to go up into the Capitol. They were wrong to go and start protesting the way that they did. They were wrong to break decorum. They were wrong to disrespect the folks that were around. Wrong. The Tennessee Republicans looked really bad in taking this to the greatest extent that they possibly could. Because in taking it to the greatest extent that they possibly could, they give justification for all the voices that say, oh, Tennessee is racist. All Tennessee is this. All these people are crimping down democracy, and gave voice to all those people to enfranchise, inflame them to the point now that the Republicans look foolish. And if you actually go through the rest of that interview, that's a very good interview. And he answers some questions about what some of those earmarkers are and House bills are that are presently on the books and things that are being proposed and why they support and or don't support those. And they're very rational, very reasonable answers. And I think you should go back and watch the rest of that interview. That was Jeremy Ritchie. Now, I say all that to simply say this has jettisoned Justin Jones, and this is exactly what he wanted to have happen. He wanted his voice. He wanted his cause. He wanted the things that he's advocating to be brought to national prominence. And Republicans, you got played.